Hey y'all, it's Sheila. Thank you for stopping by and spending a little bit of your day with me, and thank you to each of you that reached out to me, whether it by text, phone call, email, Facebook message, to see if we were okay from the hurricane. I'm going to talk about that a little bit today. Also, you were saying, when are you going to come on and update us about, if you had any hurricane damage? I'm doing that today too. I'm also fighting my shirt that I've been asked why I pull on my shirt so much and why my shirt's always crooked. Well, hopefully that won't be a problem after November when I get my last surgery done. But I've got quite a difference of road frontage here, and it pulls my shirt down. So I apologize for that. Somebody told me that kind of irritated them. I'm sorry. What I'm going to talk about today is just my thoughts. Just my opinions, just my feelings on certain things involving the hurricane. We were told to prepare for Hugo. I don't know, some of y'all don't even live in this country, but Hugo came through North Carolina years ago and created much devastation. It came inland around our area. There was much devastation. There were lives lost, homes, businesses lost, just total destruction. I think 2 to 3 weeks without utilities. And we were told to brace for that. That didn't happen. We did get rain. A couple of times we had hard rain. We got wind. We had power outages from the wind. And a few little areas around here had some minor flooding. 1 or 2 homes, I don't want to downplay this, 1 or 2 homes had trees on them. And if I'd been the person that had a tree on my home, that would have been devastating to me. But it wasn't home after home after home after home that was destroyed. It was 1 or 2 here or there, just with some trees on them, and not trying to downplay it. Just, there wasn't a lot of that. The North Carolina and South Carolina coast, however, was a totally different story. Florence was a totally different storm. Most of y'all know this. She came in and she said, I'm just going to stay there and I'm going to hang around a day or 2 and I'm going to bring in about 40 inches of rain and I'm going to pull water in from the coast, from the shore, from the beach. And then I'm not going to go up the East Coast like a typical hurricane does. I'm going to go south, and then I'm going to make a U-turn and I'm going to come back up and go up the East Coast. And then I'm going to get back out into the ocean and I'm going to sit there and think a minute. I'm going to not be a hurricane anymore, and I'm going to come back in as a storm, and I'm going to dump more rain on the North and South Carolina coast. And that's what's going on right now. And trust me, the North Carolina and South Carolina coast does not need any more water in any form unless it's drinking water. Did you have any damage down there? No, we didn't. Strange things happened. Areas that had never flooded before flooded. Areas that had flooded before didn't flood. About a mile from us, a development flooded that, had water up to the windows. There are some areas that have water up to the rooftops, and it was just very strange. The North and South Carolina has the Cape Fear River, the Waccamaw River, the PD River, the Little PD River, the Little River, the Black, the this, the that, and lots of tributaries, creeks, branches, that kind of thing. And I was getting asked, how are things? And I couldn't answer because Tuesday, today is Thursday morning, Tuesday was the final crest. And there was much more damage and destruction as those rivers crested and spilled over. Robin from Robyns Simple Life lives in Conway. That's about 15, 30 minutes from Myrtle Beach, big tourist town. And 3/4 of the town of Conway is underwater. I believe at this time, Robin is trapped in her development. That's never happened before. This was a very unusual storm. I don't care what news station you listen to, you're going to get when something is pending, you're going to get different stories. We were told it was coming in here, it was coming in here, it was coming in here, it was going to land here, and it landed in Wilmington, in that area, and pounded the tar out of Wilmington, North Carolina. It's Mother Nature. Part of it is science. But I don't think science is ever going to be able to get inside and know exactly what a hurricane is going to do. It's like Mother Nature saying, okay, that's what you think is going to happen. Well, let me show you what I'm about to do. And that's sort of the way that storm was. Then there was the topic of people leaving or people staying. Let's talk about the Outer Banks. Many families on Ocracoke Island, which does not have a highway, the ferry is their highway. They said, our families lived on this little island for over 100 years. We've never left. We're not going to leave. We've been through all this. They say that every time a hurricane comes. What do I think about it? I don't know. My family hasn't lived on Ocracoke Island for 100 years. If I was on Ocracoke Island, for a visit, or say we moved there 6 months ago and something like this came up, I'd be grabbing my stuff and hopping on that ferry. But people that have lived there and their families have lived there all these years, they're used to these predictions. And sometimes these predictions happen the way they're predicted, and sometimes they don't, because you cannot predict what Mother Nature is going to get up in her head to do. The other thing, in some areas you have to take into consideration, there's elderly, there are people on very, very, very tight budgets, and they cannot afford to leave. Do you realize when you do an evacuation, it costs $1,000 or $2,000? Because once you leave, it may be 2 weeks before you can come back in, so you've got to foot the motel bill that whole time. You've got to have food that whole time. Well, Sheila, is your life not worth $1,000 or $2,000? Yes, it is, but some people just don't have it. They just don't have it. What would I do? I don't know. I've never lived on the coast all my life, so I can't tell you what I would do in that situation. Our neighbors down there left. They said they stayed through Matthew, and they weren't staying through another one. They said, we may come home to nothing, but we'll have our family. And fully expected that area to just be submerged, and because it has been flooded before, and it did not flood at all, but a mile down the road that had never flooded was, completely flooded. My husband has a friend that has a house there at Little River, and before the highway going into that area flooded, he went down there, and he's walking around the outside of his house, and he's like, wow, no damage. I don't even find a shingle missing. And he's a contractor, and he went in his garage and went up through his house, and he was stunned at what he found. I don't know the mentality of people that do these kinds of things, but his house had been ransacked. Every electronic, every appliance, everything was gone pretty much, but the refrigerator, stove, washer and dryer. Every one of his tile floors in every room had been busted, and the sheetrock in every room had been smashed with a claw hammer. Some people stay because that goes on after a hurricane. While watching the news, I saw the looting. I saw all the looting going on. And what amazed me, when the looting was being filmed and going on, not a single person that was looting was bringing anything life-sustaining out of that store. They were bringing toys, gadgets, and clothes. I didn't see any baby food. I didn't see any baby formula. I didn't see diapers. I didn't see anything like that. I saw clothes and toys, and one woman came out with a hula hoop. I don't understand the looting mentality. I don't get it. And that, quite frankly, that's why some people stay. That's why some people stay. I've been told that by people that stay. There's going to be looting going on. One store that was looted, the police called the store manager and he said, let them have it. Let them have it. Just don't do anything. Let them have it because y'all have more important things to deal with right now. There you go. We had no damage there. We had no damage here. It was a very strange storm. Nobody's ever going to be able to predict what Mother Nature's going to do. I don't care how developed we get in that area because Mother Nature's got a mind of her own. That's why she's called Mother Nature. She's going to do things her way. What would I do? I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know what I would do. I would have to be in that situation to tell you what I would do. And I'm sure there are many y'all out there that don't agree with me on what I'm saying right now. And that's okay too. We don't all have to think alike. We had neighbors down there that stayed. We had neighbors that left. I would have left. I would have left. Because I like having power. I like being able to bathe and cook a meal. But, you know, I'm not making fun. I'm being honest. So there are my thoughts. There's how we fared. That's why I hadn't updated. I couldn't. We had to wait on all the rivers to do their thing. All that water coming down had to go somewhere, and it went into those rivers, and those rivers just spilled over, and it's bad. It's bad down there. But I'm going to go. Excuse me, I'm going to go now. Y'all have a great day. Make it a great day. And I will see you later. Bye now.